Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
And not only is it Shabbat Shalom, but it is also Chag Sameach for Sukkot, Mo'adim L'Simcha, entering into this period of joy. And we are thrilled to be here as we celebrate Sukkot. And I know the security guys want the things down, but this is our Sukkah, and we can go out afterwards and do the blessings for living in the Sukkah. And then a little later on in our service, we'll have a chance to each shake the lulav and the etrog. So we'll do that a little later. So, to begin, we'll invite Jackie and Danielle forward to light our Shabbat and holiday candles. But technically, it's still just Shabbat. It's not also the holiday part of Sukkot. It's the intermediary days of Sukkot. So it's just the Hadlik Ner Shel Shabbat. We turn together to page 10 as we join Ma Yafeh Hayom, how beautiful this day is, and truly God is providing us this incredible show as fall goes and the colors come out, and it is just a beautiful thing to see.
Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
As we turn to page 12, we join in Lechu Neranena, come let us sing joyously to Adonai, raise a shout for our rock and deliverer.
Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena, l'Adonai. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena, l'Adonai. Naria, naria, litzur yishenu, nekad ma'afa b'toda. Naria, naria, litzur yishenu, tizmirot na'iralo. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena, l'Adonai. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena, l'Adonai.
As we turn to page 20, we look and see the prayer Lecha Dodi, and you can imagine on a beautiful evening like tonight, the mystics in Tzvat in the 15th century would go out into the fields and they would mythically welcome their Shabbat bride, reenacting the relationship between God and the people of Israel each and every week as we too welcome our Shabbat bride into our hearts as we join together in Lecha Dodi, and we'll do verses 1, 2, and 9. 1, 2, and 9. As we get to the 9th verse, we'll rise together and our Shabbat bride will come through the doors, and Luba will pretend to be our Shabbat bride.
John just got here. He might end
Oh,
up being our Shabbat bride.
John might be walking in just as we do that, so who knows?
Lecha dodi likrat kala yalalai, 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 Pnei Shabbat, Nekabelah. Lecha dodi likrat kala yalalai, 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 Pnei Shabbat, Nekabelah. Shamor v'zachor v'rimor echad, Hishmianu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad u'shmo echad, B'shem u'tiferet v'litila. Lecha dodi likrat kala yalalai, 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 Pnei Shabbat, Nekabelah. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, Hihi mikor haveracha, Merosh mikedem nesucha, Sof ma'aseh b'machshavat tchila. Lecha dodi likrat kala yalalai, 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 Pnei Shabbat, Nekabelah. Boli v'shalom ateret bava, Am v'simcha u'v'tzola, Tov emunei am segula, Boli chala, Boli chala. Lecha dodi likrat kala yalalai, 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 Pnei Shabbat, Nekabelah.
We turn together to page 22. You may be seated as we join in Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat, Psalm 92, which is a song for Shabbat.
Mizmor shir liyom haShabbat, tov lehodot la'Adonai, u'zamer l'shimcha elyon, u'zamer l'shimcha elyon. Mizmor shir liyom haShabbat, tov lehodot la'Adonai, u'zamer l'shimcha elyon, u'zamer l'shimcha elyon. Lehagid b'boker chasdecha, ve'emunatecha ba'elom. Sorry. Alei asur b'alei navel, alei hidayon v'chinar. Mizmor shir liyom haShabbat, tov lehodot la'Adonai, u'zamer l'shimcha elyon, u'zamer l'shimcha elyon. I thought a string broke and it was just my bracelet because it's that kind of day. No, it didn't break.
Oh, it didn't break. Okay, good. We turn together to page 24, and there you find the prayer known as Shalom Aleichem, which means peace be on you. And it is the greeting that is said when two Jews meet. One will say, Shalom Aleichem, peace be on you, and the other responds, on you may there be peace, Alechem Shalom. And so stand up, find somebody you don't know, introduce yourself, say Shabbat Shalom, Shalom Aleichem, make a new friend. And as we find our seats once again, we join together in Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bochem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Huni l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Zeichem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
We turn together to page 26 as we rise for Chatzi Kaddish.
Yitkadav, Yitkadav, Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Yamad Yivarach Chirutei v'Yamlich Malchutei. B'chayechon u'b'yomechon u'chayei Dechol Beit Yisrael. Bagala, Bagala, u'b'zman karif, Imeru, Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah mevorach, le'olam olam me'amaya. Yitbarach, Yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitba'ar, v'yitermam, v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalav, Shmei Dekudeshah, Leila min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma, v'yimeru, Amen.
As we remain standing and turn to page 28 as we join in Baruch Hu, our call to worship.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Vaed. Please be seated and let's join together, middle of page 30. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzivaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai, Ma'ariv Aravim. As we turn to page 33. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol. All these things your Torah gives to us. And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works and the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Ahavat olam, made Yisrael, Amecha avta, Amcha
like to invite Danielle forward to help us and lead our Shema and V'ahavta as Danielle gets ready to celebrate her bat mitzvah in December 7th. Or is it 10th?
Shema.
Please rise.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Please be seated.
We continue on the following page with V'ahavta.
Right now.
Go ahead.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברתם בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ושכבך ובקומך ושרתם להיות על ידיך וחיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות להם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם את.
Yasher Koach, nicely done. We turn together to page 39. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. Our song of freedom, Mi Chamocha, page 40. Malchuta charu uvanecha bokeh yam lifnei Moshe uMiriam ze Elianu va'amru Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed. V'ne'emar ki fada Adonai et Yaakov v'gulo miyad chazak mimenu Baruch ata Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. Page 43. Let's join together at the top of the page. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will.
Baruch atah, atah Adonai, haborei sukkot shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Ve'al Yerushalayim ve'al kol amo. Ve'al Yerushalayim shalom. Ve'al Yerushalayim ve'al kol amo. Ve'al Yerushalayim shalom. Baruch atah, atah Adonai, haborei sukkot shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael.
We are a people in whom the past endures, in whom the present is inconceivable without moments gone by. The Exodus lasted a moment that endures forever. What happened once upon a time happens all the time. As we rise together for Amidah, page 46, we pray as if everything depended on God, and we act as if everything depends on us.
Adonai sivatai tiftachu fi agite hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'Mevii Geula Lifnei Bneihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Ve'ezrat Sarah. Page 50. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol HaTorah V'Hoshia, Morid HaTal, Mechalkel Chayim B'Chesed, Mechaye HaKol B'Rachamim Rabim, Zomech Noflim V'Rofeh Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha B'Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Me'id Umechayeh, Umasmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah l'chayot hakol. Baruch atah
Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol.
Atah
Kadosh v'Shimcha Kadosh,
Kadoshim b'chol yom yahalu chasela. Baruch atah
Adonai,
Ha'el HaKadosh.
Please be seated. it is on Sukkot that we have an opportunity to be thankful. Thankful for the food that we eat, the blessings that we have in our lives, including all of the things that we get from God, all of the beautiful, beautiful gifts that we get, the things that we see, the things we experience, and the things that we eat. And we take these elements, these leaves and this beautiful fruit, which is from the Torah, where it says we will take the palm branch, which is, of course, this, symbolizing, or said to symbolize, our physical strength, almost like a spine. Take the myrtle, which is a kind of like an eye-shaped leaf, so it symbolizes our sense of sight, the things we see around us. And the willow, which is an elongated leaf, something like the shape of our lips, so that we praise God with all that we see, all of our strength, and with the words that we speak. And then we have the citron or the etrog. The etrog really has very little purpose in the world except to be the beautiful fruit on Sukkot. If you've ever opened an etrog, there's not much in it, but you can smell it. So as we pass it around, and you will each have a chance to ritually shake the lulav of an etrog, please give it a nice smell. It's a beautiful lemon citrusy kind of an aroma. So what you do is, and we'll say the blessing together, and then everybody will have a chance to shake the lulav as we continue. So the blessing that we say ends in the words al nitilat lulav. Okay, so how do all blessings begin? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al nitilat lulav. And then you take your etrog and you turn it up so that the pitom, which is this precious stem that has to be there so that the etrog can be whole and complete and perfect. So please, when you're handling the etrog, please don't be careful of the stem, because if it breaks off, we can't really use it on Sukkot, so just be careful. So we bring this together with our lulav, and we shake in all directions. So we shake to the front and behind us and to the side and up and down. And I'm going to pass these around, get them going. So, lulav in your right, etrog in your left. Try not to hit the person next to you, and otherwise, Although Diane might be aiming for you, Jay, And when you get a chance this evening on your way out, you can go to the sukkah, and the blessing that is said for the sukkah. Oh, you're welcome to, please.
What's the reason again to do it all in all directions?
Sorry?
What is the reason again?
All right, so why do you shake the lulav in all directions, right? So you are shaking the lulav with your whole self, your whole body, the palm, your strength, the myrtle, your eyes, the willow, your mouth, and actually the etrog is there to symbolize your heart, which in the ancient world was really a thought center. The center of emotion and thought, and all of that was in the heart. And so when you shake it in all directions, you are mindful of God's creation all around us. And so we are thankful for everything that God creates all around us. Yes, so the etrog, which is a citrus fruit, is typically grown in Israel, but it also is, there is large etrog crops that are in Italy and Greece. I do know of a couple people who have tried to grow an etrog, here in the United States. If you're in Florida, it sometimes works. I had a friend in Michigan that tried to grow one. He got the tree growing, but he could never get it to fruit. The tree, yeah, it's a tree, so it gives fruit every year. Yes. I'm a rabbi. Ask Dom, he's the closest we have to a horticulturalist. I believe it is one of those that you need one of each, but don't quote me on that. Right. I think he had enough trouble getting this thing to grow, but it was really cool because he got it. It grew about like 8 or 9 feet. It was really quite tall, and the leaves smelled like the etrog, which was very cool. So if anybody wants to try it, you can take the etrog and get it to sprout. The other thing you can do with it after Sukkot is you punch little holes and then you put cloves in it and you fill it up, and then it dries, and you have a bisamim, or a spice box, that we use on Havdalah.
What will you be doing with the etrogs next week?
Whatever you would like, Walter. Me, not much. Okay, Corlin? If I can interest anybody, Oh, boy. So, right, moving along. We turn together to page 60, 61 actually, and we join in our prayer for peace. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim tasim leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha tasim leolam.
We take a few moments for silent prayer.
Yiyu ratzon imrefi vehegyon libi lefanecha Adonai tzuri Adonai tzuri v'gali v'gali.
We turn together to page 253 as we join in our blessing for healing, and we ask God for healing for all those in our lives who need a sense of healing. Healing can come in so many different forms. Healing of body or mind or heart or soul. And in our congregation, we especially mention Ross McCullough, Stephanie Willis, Alicia Leopold, Louis Tannenbaum, Carol Ford, Ali Ford, Jan Mandel, Melanie Wood, Irv Willis, Alana Bennett, Juan Lee, Henny Alassam, Rabbi Brad Bliefeld, Marcia Koblitz, Barbara Shapira, Darlene Sharp, and Zachary Solomon. If you are joining us via live stream, please add whatever name that you would like to add into our chat. And if you are here in person, as I look around, and if you would like to add a name, please do so.
Andrea Rossi. Caroline House.
Doug Beckner and Nancy Thompson.
Leslie Hart.
Luba Maxine Forty, Anna Maxine Vollenos, Olivia Souls, and Oswald.
Mamie Love.
Let's join together.
Page 253. Misheberach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the
Sukkot is a time for giving thanks, and one of the ways that we do that is to build a hut in the backyard. Yes? Why? Thanks for the harvest and thanks for the homes that we get to dwell in. But there are lots and lots of people for whom that is not a given. And so to help us understand that message and some of the complexities of homelessness in our own community, I'd like to welcome my friend and colleague, the very Reverend Melinda Hall, who is Dean of the Episcopal Cathedral and also has co-chair and co-founded the Erie Spiritual Coalition, doing some very important work in our city around the issues of homelessness. So welcome, please. You can use this one. It's easier. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a little short. Thank you to Rabbi for letting me come tonight, and thanks for all of the welcome I have received tonight. A couple of words, I suppose. I'm going to talk a little bit about housing, but a little bit about the coalition, and so we'll see where we get in the time allotted. So I guess the Erie Spiritual Coalition has been meeting for about a year, and it comes out of this conviction. I don't know, maybe do you find that politics is working well at the moment? Yes, correct, it's not. No, it's not. So the question sort of started to be like, is there a third way in? Is there a leverage point besides wearing a blue shirt or a red shirt? Is there some way that we could find common ground and bring people together? And so a group of us began thinking that, well, the foundation of a lot of what brings us together, in some sense, is our sense of commonality and human dignity, and a sort of sense of the sacred, however that's defined for people. That there is this call to human rights and human dignity grounded not in political parties, but in a sense of who we believe people to be. And so I think your tradition and mine coming along would say, well, humanity is made in the image of God, yes? And it's my understanding, though yours would be better, that the Torah speaks a lot about caring for the widow and the orphan, leaving your field ungleaned for the poor, caring for the foreigner in your midst. And I think the prophets come along and they call people to account for that. Isaiah is famous, you're joining house to house, right? Amos and his plumb line. Hosea and his marriage and all the things that go on there. And so we're called to hold power account, but not for the sake of gaining power ourselves, but for the sake of leveraging it on behalf of other people. So the Erie Spiritual Coalition, a bunch of people got together and sat at a table and said, is it possible? Could we begin leveraging sort of this way of politics from a humanistic, from a spiritual, from a sacred grounding to make a difference? Erie has this is my hot take, maybe more than one hot take, but one of them is that Erie has too many nonprofits and too many things going on in that department. So we were trying to decide whether Erie needed something else. And so we spent a long process talking to a lot of our community organizations. So think our West Bay Front, think BEST, think Black Wall Street, think Compton's, think GCAC, think the Benedictines, think USCRI. Is this useful? And the answer was yes, because our people are strapped. We never get to advocate to politics because we barely have enough grant money to cover the work that we're doing. We barely have enough time. And so we thought, okay, then let's try it. Let's try to begin entering politics from a spiritual framework. And the people who sat at the table are myriad different spiritualities who understand their sense of the sacred in very different ways, but who understand that it calls them forth on behalf of their friends and neighbors to work for something better. Which sort of brings me then to like the first thing we sort of took on was housing, which of course with Sukkot and Tabernacles, it's a wonderful time to think about that. And I think if you pay attention to the newspaper at all, then you'll understand that Erie has a lot of issues surrounding homelessness and the unhoused population, right? Build, the new Community Development Corporation, is doing a lot of things related to that. We're thankful for the work that they're doing. But there's a lot of conversation, not just about how people are on the streets, which there has been a 15% rise in that in just a short amount of couple of years, but the amount of people who live in housing that is about to be lost. 12.3% of city housing stock is considered uninhabitable or poor, and 50% of evictions are for reasons of habitability, like people can't live in the place that they are. And all you have to do is drive around some of the different parts of downtown that aren't Frontier and aren't Glenwood Heights, and pretty quickly you see. Now, this is a city that before the pandemic was 48% renter. So I don't know about you, but probably after the pandemic, we're probably crossed that, which isn't great for a city to begin with. And it certainly isn't great for some of our residents. And so the coalition decided, since there's a ton of people talking about homelessness, we would talk about people who might really become homeless. Because the thin line between you having your housing and not having your housing, it's not much. And I think we can agree that housing is sort of a basic human right? Grateful for the roofs that we have, for the places that we dwell as you celebrate that this season. And we know that kids have terrible education outcomes and people have bad job prospects and the whole thing falls apart if you never know where you're gonna live. And so we went back to our partners and neighbors and said, okay, what would be helpful in this arena? They pointed us to housing and they pointed us to this. So we didn't dream it up. We talked to our folks in the neighborhood communities and sitting around a bunch of different tables, and so we came up with that. And we looked at a bunch of different city models and we paid attention to what the government was sort of advocating for and landed on a tenant bill of rights as kind of the way to begin thinking through how a city could begin to talk about how the renters and their landlords live and live together. Lots of cities like Philly, like Pittsburgh, like New York, lots of places have tenant bill of rights. That it is named that, but it could be just called like a housing bill of rights because it just takes all of the rights that belong to people and put them in one document. All of the federal laws, all of the state laws, all the local laws in one place so that it's available for everyone to see. And instead of having to go scrap through what are your rights or what aren't your rights, it's all in one place. And, we've talked to landlords about this, and there's a lot of problem around renter education and what are renters' responsibilities. So the document isn't anything that doesn't already exist, and it puts in one place so everybody knows. Renting is a learned habit. And there's I have the draft of the Tenant Bill of Rights if you're interested and you want a copy after this. But, only one is aspirational, the rest already exists. So it's, whether one likes it or one doesn't, they're the laws that are on the books. It's just putting them in one place. And the point of getting council, therefore, to take it on is that if council has read it, then council knows it. No more ignorance on anybody's part, right? I mean, if you pass this thing and you make it available for the city, then, oh, look at that. Now we all know what the laws are. And now let's have a conversation about why code enforcement is so problematic at the city, which is what our neighbor, we know our West Bay front wants that. We know people at Best want that. We know that there are tenants and landlords alike who would like that because it doesn't benefit anyone to not have code enforcement, and they're simply not allocating money to it. So basically, Tenant Bill of Rights is a platform for building up a bunch of other columns to hold up housing in the city. We also don't have a housing court. It'd be fascinating to think about what that could be like. I know GCAC has talked about that before. St. Martin Center has had conversations about that. But what is the way of ameliorating difficulties between renters and landlords before it rises to the occasion of court? What could we do? Could we have an office for that? Could we talk about how that could work? There are lots of places that have offices of housing, right? And then you can build a way of thinking about, well, if one of the problems is we have a lot of renters who don't understand how to read, their leases in full, who don't understand that the toilet really is their responsibility, not their landlord's, and then suddenly the whole value of the house is depreciated, how are we educating renters? And can we have a corporate conversation about that? So the coalition is about the business of trying to get the city to pass this as really a platform for talking about a lot of other things. That is the work that we're doing, and I guess why I'm here is because we'd love to have you join us, any of you, all of you. That'd be awesome. If you live in the city and you're interested, we'd love to have you think about signing. We're signing a petition right now to get council to put it on the table to prove that we have a bunch of people from all sorts of zip codes who care about this, whether you're 16501, you're 16509, you're 16505. So we've been knocking doors and doing that. We're looking for 300. We're over the halfway mark, for sure. Picked up a bunch at an event this week. So if you're interested, it can be signed online, or I have petitions here tonight. But if you're interested in getting involved with us, we're always looking for more people. We'd love to have Jewish representation among our number, as you are valued in this city and your voices really matter. And so happy to talk with you more about that after that. I've got really fancy note cards with QR codes on them. You know you want one because they look cool. So I think that brings me to the end of my time, and I'm very grateful to have had the time to speak with you today. So thank you.
Certainly a meaningful and important conversation to continue, and I'm sure we'll be able to do that together. We'll continue now with Aleinu on page 282. Please rise. And we are going to open our ark as we turn to Aleinu. As we notice and Danielle, can you help us open the ark? Awesome. You'll notice that our Torah covers are the holiday Torah covers, which we don't get to see so often, so I wanted to make sure that we all could see them.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol ateit gedula le'otzeh b'reshit shelo asanu kegoyei haratzot velo samanu k'mishbachot ha'adama shelo sam chelkeinu kahem v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam v'anachnu korim ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. Page 284. שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל ושכינתו זו בגוב פני רומאים הוא אלוהינו אדון אמת מלכנו אפס ובטוב ככתוב בתורתו וידעת היום והשבות אל לבבך כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל והארץ מתחת עינו. Page 287. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. Did you take my... All good. Our thoughts turn now to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. And on this Shabbat, we observe the yahrzeit, the anniversary of the death of Irvin Goldman, Joseph Schwab, Samuel Sobel, Robert Cohen, Rachel Davis, Betty Jean Kay, Abraham Levi, Eva Ostrow, Jay Alexander, Jack Bloomberg, Kate Jacobs, Charles Schulman, William Morris, Lillian Davis, Joseph Falk, Minetta Cooperman, Miriam Goodman, Stanislaw Wizik, Barbara Oppenheimer, Abraham Goldstein, Richard Goldberg, and Clara Kalman. If you are joining us via live stream and you would like to add a name, please add the name into our chat. And if you are here in person and would like to add a name, please do so as I look around. Oh, yes. And of course, Alec Fisher, without whose most generous donation made the construction of where we are, our own home, incredibly possible. So thank you. And so we'll join together as we turn to page 294 and we rise for Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ba'alma divrach rutei v'yamlich marchutei, b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru, Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'alam u'larmeh armaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekutsha barichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran bi'alma v'imru, Amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. Oseh shalom b'mrumav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. Please be seated as we, sorry?
I just want to say
Oh,
something
yes,
about,
please.
here I am again, Minetta Cooperman, and I can't remember her sister's name. Matilda. So Minetta and Matilda Cooperman were in the front office every Sunday morning before religious school when I was a kid, and when anybody who's older was a child. They were always there. They always said hello. They always counted the tzedakah money, and I still fondly remember both of them.
Thank you. I think our board representative, Craig. You are elected, literally.
Well, thank you, Rabbi. Thank you, Jesse, and thank you to our guest. And a question for our guest. Did you say that you had petitions here tonight, copies of the petition? Yes. Okay, so everybody take note. The petition can be signed tonight. Announcements. Hurry Hill Maple Farm Museum Tour is tomorrow at 1 p.m. And Pizza in the Hut is the next day on Sunday, October 20th at 12:30. This is not just a Gesher celebration, it's open to the entire congregation. Then Simchat Torah celebration and consecration is on Sunday, October 27th at 11:30 p.m., followed by a lunch, which is open to the congregation, and there is no cost for that either. So that is Sunday, October 27th, Simchat Torah and consecration. And then Insights to Judaism and adult B'nai Mitzvah classes. Those are beginning Wednesday, October 30th at 7 p.m. You're definitely welcome. Thank you, to Shabbat Shalom. What's that?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, there will be times where we will meet, but basically we're starting all on Zoom, yes. Bobby said she wanted to do it all over again. Excellent. Excellent. Very good. So let's conclude this evening with Od Yavo Shalom, please let there be peace, on page 353. 353.
Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam, salam, salam Aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam, salam.
And we turn together to Kiddush, which can be found on page 5.
Baruch atah Adonai
Eloheinu
Eloheinu
melech
melech
haolam,
haolam, borei
peri
peri
hakafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu
v'shavat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon nigilanu. Zikaron le'maaseh bereshit, ki hu yom tehillah lemikra'ei kodesh, zecher letziyat Mitzrayim, ki banu v'charta, ve'otanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, ve'shabat kodshecha, ve'ava uvratzon, invaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh hashabbat. Amen.
Chaim. And Julie, thank you so much. Okay. This is a regular challah, although vegetarian. I guess you could make it not vegetarian somehow, but. Sorry? No, that's vegan. There is a vegan challah over there. This is just vegetarian. Okay. Vegan challah over there. Here we go. Ready? We thank God for all the things that we have. Thanking God for all the food that we have, for the incredible work that we do to heal our city. And we are so grateful to our partners. And thank you, Reverend Hall, for joining us and sharing a great message. So, Motzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Shabbat shalom. We have directions, I think.